Hello, everyone. Many things we don't know and many things we haven't learned in life to introspect ourselves. Let's support stoicism channels, which have shared many useful educations about fortitude in life. Don't forget to press the like and subscribe buttons for this channel. Accepting or rejecting something is the most basic form of human communication, part of our primitive survival instinct. When we want something and receive a negative response, we can feel sad and frustrated because it is logical. No one likes to hear the word no. Therefore, we know that we can frustrate others by rejecting their requests. We often feel uncomfortable saying no to others because we know how bad it feels to experience this rejection ourselves. But with fear of saying no, not only do we severely limit the way we communicate about what we really want or expect, but we can also end up doing things we don't want to do, which is against our will, thus absorbing negative feelings such as one's own frustration. Even more so when we do things we don't want to do, chances are we're going to be rude or do it badly because we don't want to. And in the case of cases like this, the effect of accepting what we do not want ends up being the opposite of what we think in the realm of interpersonal communication, in which each word has weight and resonance. The ability to say no, without the need for lengthy explanations, is a subtle and powerful art. Although this is something very simple, there is also a complexity in this practice that goes beyond simple rejection. It is a path of self-discovery and affirmation, in which saying no appears not as a barrier to rejection, but as a pillar of autonomy and self-esteem in a world that often presses for conformity, and where saying yes is considered a currency of exchange for acceptance and reward, choosing not to explain oneself when saying no. It can look like an act of rebellion, but it actually means recognizing that your choices, limits, and decisions have intrinsic value and don't require external validation. This type of behavior can be a manifesto of independence, a declaration that an assessment of your intuition and feelings is enough. Saying no without explanation is liberation from the shackles of guilt and obligations imposed on oneself. This means understanding that as human beings, we have the right to prioritize our needs, wants, and well-being without having to bow to public opinion. By embracing this practice, we pave the way to a more honest and transparent relationship, where communication is based on mutual respect and not on expectations of concessions or justification. In this video, we'll explore how saying no without explanation can change the way you interact with the world. We will dismantle the myths that surround this approach, and it offers insight into how you can incorporate it into your daily life. You strengthen your relationships and confirm your autonomy. This is a journey towards more authentic communication, where the focus is on your actual voice. Watch to the end to understand the moral of the story and explain how you can learn to say no without explanation, and how this will never damage your relationships with others you value. But instead, this technique can even strengthen and enhance these important relationships for you. Focus your attention on the content. Please subscribe to this channel and click the like button. Let's go in a world where honesty and assertiveness are often forgotten by excessive politeness. Learn to say no without explanation is a liberating skill, almost revolutionary. Imagine someone who is kind and always willing to help live trapped by the fear of disappointing others, believing that saying no is a sign of disrespect or selfishness. But this exhausting reality, they find themselves overburdened with handling tasks and assistance that exceed their personal limits, like a ship being towed by unwanted currents. They feel swayed away from their own needs and wants. Co-workers, neighbors, and friends often make requests that go unfulfilled. This person is stuck in a cycle of giving without receiving, trying to please everyone but themselves. In search of guidance, they seek help from a wise old man in their ward, sitting with them sharing difficulties. They asked how they could refuse requests without feeling bound to justify themselves, and how to set boundaries without appearing rude. The wise man with a calm gaze explains that saying no without explanation is an act of self-esteem. This is not a rejection, but an affirmation of your priorities. You don't need a myriad of reasons to protect your time and energy. Practice phrases like, "No thanks," or "I can't commit to it." Be clear, direct, but always friendly. This person learned that saying no is like drawing clear boundaries on a map, defining their autonomous region. They began to practice. To the neighbors they said, "I can't keep your dog this weekend," and to a friend they said, "I can't lend you money at the moment." At first they are afraid of a reaction, but with their surprise, they find new respect from others. Some even admire his honesty, like a gardener learning to prune excessive plants. They find value from taking care of their own gardens. This new path is not without its challenges. There are times when guilt and fear come whispering about old beliefs, but every non-said reinforces those beliefs. They realize that this is not selfishness, but a necessary balance. By prioritizing yourself, they don't value others, they value themselves. Saying no without explanation is a melody of their freedom to reflect. They learn that by protecting their time and energy, they not only maintain their sanity, but also open up space for healthier relationships and activities that actually bring happiness. And in this moment, people see their true value. This short story is a reminder that sometimes the most powerful words we can say are not simple but firm. Although this content is focused on the power of the word, it is not very important to have a good sense in how to use this power. Therefore, I will expand this subject a little further so that you have more tools in your personal development arsenal and can make decisions in your life that will appeal to the good and the people around you. Navigating the complexity of human interaction involves a constant balance between saying yes and no. These seemingly simple two words carry significant weight in our lives, affecting our relationships, careers, and personal well-being. Identifying when to say yes and when to say no is an important skill that helps us live more authentically and fully. I will give you some examples of how you can make this decision in your daily life. Saying yes is appropriate when it aligns with your values and goals, if an opportunity or demand aligns with fundamental values. Helping you progress toward your goals says it can be a strong choice. For example, if you value continuous learning, accepting challenging projects at work can be a yes. That promotes your personal and professional growth. The benefit of a healthy relationship is saying yes to spending quality time with friends or family, or to support someone in times of adversity can strengthen your interpersonal bonds. It reflects empathy and connection, an important ingredient for meaningful relationships. Being mindful of oneself and happiness is if a request or opportunity brings happiness, relaxation, or well-being, says it can be a form of self-care. It can be as simple as accepting an invitation to walk outside or participate in an activity you love. On the other hand, saying is not important when it threatens your well-being or integrity. If the request or situation threatens your mental, physical health, or ethical integrity, saying not only is it appropriate, but also necessary. For example, refusing to participate in activities that go against your moral principles or that demand more than you can handle is not what protects your core. Result in an unbalanced relationship if you attend to the needs of others frequently. While your own needs are being ignored, it's time to reconsider and maybe say no. It's about setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. Evoke a sense of dissatisfaction or fatigue if you realize that saying yes to certain requests or situations causes feelings of dissatisfaction or fatigue. That's a clear sign that the moment requires no. By refusing, you prioritize your energy and emotional resources. Thus, to navigate between yes and no, consider the following strategies. Personal reflection. Take a moment to reflect on how you feel about the request or opportunity. If it brings up negative feelings or anxiety, it may be a sign to say no. Evaluate priorities. Analyze whether the request aligns with your current priorities. If it doesn't contribute to what's important to you right now, it's unlikely to be the most appropriate response. Listen to intuition. Often our intuition gives clear clues. If something doesn't feel right, it may not be. Consider the long-term impact. Think about the consequences of saying yes or no. If the long-term impact says yes positively and aligns with your goals, it may be the right choice. If not, reconsider. Ultimately, the ability to say yes and no effectively is an important aspect of self-knowledge and assertiveness. By making a conscious choice about when to accept or reject, we not only manage our time and resources, but also shape the direction of our lives. It's a delicate balance, but with practice and introspection, we can learn to make choices that truly reflect who we are and what we value. Thanks for watching. Please share this video with others so that you help us create new content and also spread this wisdom to others. I will leave here some additional in-depth content on other related topics. See you soon.